Okay, everyone, this is Herb Strather, your coach, and this is our orientation class. And we're going to have really a couple of days. We're going to really get kicked off in earnest the very first of the month. But I wanted to take this time to reach out to everybody because this is a time of great uncertainty. And you might notice here on the screen, there's something called the Optimist Creed. Now, I am an optimist, and I can tell you, I know the creed by heart. I don't know if it'd come up if I clicked on it, would it? Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there's something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just enthusiastic about success of others as you are about your own. And I'm not reading and I'm looking at you all. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. Now, those are the first 5 tenements of our creed, but just think about it. Now, in times like this can disturb your peace of mind unless you really see what it really is. This is probably the greatest time in history. I think when I look back at my life, I'm going to think about this year, 2020, when a lot of things really happened and changed. And it's the chance for all of you to just stop and think about it now. You have great opportunities. You may have challenges, but just think about the great opportunities that you have. You're home now. You can retool. There's things that you wanted to do your whole life. Finish that book. You know, be what you want to be, but you haven't had the time to do it. You're on the rat race. You go to work, you come back, and look, you're home right now. You're not spending any money, that's for sure. And if you, so I want everybody to be an optimist because you have no business being in the real estate business or a developer, and you're not an optimist. You understand? And to talk health, happiness, and prosperity, every person you meet, of course. You know, you want to. That's what you want to talk about, not doomsday. Make all your friends feel there was something in them. There's a lady, you know, the banks are closed, so I drive up the window doing some transactions. This older lady, she was walking. She wasn't in a car to drive up. And I rolled my window down. Don't get me wrong, I had my mask on. You know, and said, ma'am, come here. Can I help you, ma'am? But, oh, thank you. She needed to put $10 in the bank. Go figure. Chase took me through a whole bunch of stuff. One of my driver's license, put $10 in her account. Go figure. I put the $10 in. I gave it to her. I said, here you go, ma'am. And you know what else? I said, here you go, ma'am. She started crying. I gave her $20. That's all. $20. You understand? But that was really something, you know. Every day I want everybody to do something that is going to help somebody else. You know, if you have a healthy view of yourself, you can reach out to others, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. Now, that's pretty cool, to make it happen. You could make your own optimism. There was a lady named Sybil Mobley. She was the dean at Florida A&M. And they said that she could look at anything and she'd tell you her view. I mean, she was a partner of mine in the casino in Detroit, and she was the dean over at Florida A&M. But the thing I loved about her is that no matter what the circumstances, she had her own view of what was going to happen, and she made it happen. She made it happen. You understand? This glass, is it half empty or is it half full? I say it's half full. You have to look at it that it's half full, not half empty. Think only of the best, work only for the best, and expect only the best. To be just enthusiastic about the success of others as you about your own. Forget about the mistakes of the past and press on to the great achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, and too strong to permit the presence of trouble. That's what I'm talking about, team. And there's a wonderful life to live in your own optimism. Now, what does that mean? Translate that to right now. Everybody don't know what to do. There's 3 categories. One, my old man said, you don't know whether to shit or go blind. Excuse the language. But, you know, they're just indecisive. They don't know what to do. Oh, I don't know what to do. And there are some that are downright frightened. Now, that's a dangerous thing because today, if you're frightened, it can easily kill you because you could attract the corona disease to you. You could just attract it to you. And then you'll wonder, how did you get it? Because you were imagining it. You was hoping you didn't. And if you put a lot of energy in that, that's how Trump won. They said he had so much energy that, and if you look at the secret, read it. Some of you may have already done it. It tells about, the art of attraction. Do not attract a negative situation. When I was studying Christian Science when I was young, whatever we believe we could achieve, whatever we believe happened first in our minds. And so I'm a mental physician in that particular sense. I was probably a little bit stronger then in that particular sense because I wouldn't do anything, it was just, I wouldn't take any medicine. I would heal myself and the whole shot. But I gave into a little extra wine and stuff later on, so don't worry about it. But the thing is it's your mind. So I want you to get your mind ready. That's a criteria and it's a prerequisite to the class. It's getting your mind ready. So be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and do not permit presence of trouble. It's simple as that. So I'm going to take, that's my deals I'm doing. Okay, oops, that's another one. Okay, now I better go find where I'm at, Billy, here. Billy told me to be prepared, and I'm not sure I'm totally prepared. Billy, here we go. Here we go. Right here. Oops. So I need to back out of this one, Billy. This is Strather. I can back out of this into the next one. Yeah, there we go. I got by on that one. So that's the Optimist Creed. And I have it on Strather Academy. Can you imagine on my website? No, of all the things I have, it sitting right up there. And we're opening our door for some additional optimists. I think we have the opening for 9 altogether. We got 3 in and we got 9. We stay at 100 exactly. At 101, we don't really go over it and not under it at this point, but we're going to. So if anybody want to become a member of the International Centennial Optimist Club, let us know. We plan to go on television and promote optimism in the world today to a world that really needs it. Now, how does that tie into what we're talking about, real estate? Getting your mind set and goals set. So the first part of this thing is assessing yourself. What skills do you really have? Don't be afraid. You may have only bought single units, single house, 2, and can you go from 2 units to 100 units? Would that be kind of frightening to you to get something that big? How about a 20 unit? Now, let me just think about it. My first apartment building was a 20 unit. It was at 15141 Sussex Street in Detroit. That was in May. And then in December, I won't tell you what year, how's that? But in December of that year, I bought 17150 Myers. It was 190 units. So I was doing houses, then I went to a 20, and then 6 months later, I bought 190 units. And then that was it. Now, I want to tell you, once your mind, I want you to take off the limitations on your mind. Just take it off. You can do this. It holds you back if you got to have a dream, a vision, a goal. And if you know you can do it, nothing is going to stop you. You pray the Lord to give you the strength. You can make this happen. The next year, I was able, as you can, I had accumulated 1,300 units in 12 months, 1,300 units. Bought a 377 unit, about 186 units, about 1,300 units from December, in 13 months, from December to December, and I closed just one deal a month. That's all I did. I just lined them up and closed one every single month. Can you do that? The answer is absolutely yes. But before you go to battle, would you really go to battle and not get your mind straight? Would you not paint your face? I can do it. You know, I remember when I would give a speech, then they'd be introducing me, Mr. Strather, game time. Psychologically, you know what I mean? This is show. This is a show. You tell yourself you can do it, and you be you. The best of you will come out. So sit back and assess yourself, but don't be critical of yourself. Look at the very best. You understand? So I can say, well, I stuttered. So I'm going to start stuttering. You know something? Your problems are your greatest assets. Now, if you had some difficulty and you was able to work it out, then you're stronger than the other person who haven't had the difficulty. Hell, we had to get across the street ourselves at 8 years old, you know. We had to figure it out, you know. We got beat up on the playground, and our daddy made us go back and punch the guy in the nose. You became stronger. You know, I was poor. I was set outdoors when I was little. Now, that's something, isn't it, to be set outdoors? And the neighbors talking, you know. But the reason I'm telling you this is that when you're assessing yourself, look at the very positive thing. As a result of my problem, I had to go to speech therapy, and then I became the class president of my class because the speech therapy teacher made me participate in the oratorical contest and an optimist club. Go figure. An optimist club is what life. I participated 3 or 4 times in optimist club. Now I've built 154 optimist clubs. I've built more city clubs than any human in human history. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really prepared to talk. I'm just kind of free-wheeling here because I got you all, and this is our free time right now for me to get you ready. I want to get you ready for war. This is basic training. But if you were fixed to go off to war and you packing up your bum and say, I think, you know, just come back home now. You know, you got to psychologically get ready. You're going into basic training. You're going to be shipping off to war. You got to get ready. You got to know you're going to come back. You got to have a purpose. It's not what you're going to do, it's why you're going to do it. You understand? So when you assess yourself, what do I have? Don't cut yourself short. And there's a workbook here, and it has a lot of questions. And this is the second workbook. The first one has to do with about me. Nobody give a care. The great metamorphosis, how we got here. But that was 10 years ago. In the best of times and the worst of times. These are the best and the worst. And the worst, it has a whole new meaning now. A whole new meaning. That's why, Billy, I'm going to have to rewrite the book. These are interesting times, and this is at the very beginning of it. So how do your coach look at it? I look at it like I'm going to make a lot of money because everybody else is going to hesitate. They're going to hesitate. And I'm not. It's going to take 2 or 3 months to buy the property in the first place. And believe me, you want to be there and ready. And the lender's not going to shell out the money if they don't think the project can make it. And let me tell you what else too. It's how you structure a deal. Structure a deal with a year's debt service at closing. Structure your deal for cash. And right now you need it more than ever because the lenders want more money down. 30% of the lenders are not loaning anymore. And the rest of them do not want to leverage as much. But a CDFI will still give you 90%. Isn't that fabulous? Isn't it cool to know where to get financing? That secret alone is worth a lot of money. Where do I get the financing? And you know where to get the financing. You know where to get the financing. Now, you may not know what CDFI. As a matter of fact, fellas and ladies, I want to know. I want you to email me this week, Wednesday. It's good enough. No later than Thursday at noon. I would like to have, give me six CDFIs in your community and what they do. This is your secret weapon, and you need this now. I tell you what, you're not going to go to Chase and borrow no money. or Bank of America or Wells Fargo. And they may have a lending program. They're in so much trouble they'll do anything. But the point is that the big banks, they fund CDFIs. The big banks fund other institutions. Bank of America fund NACA, 47 offices, make 100% loans, no credit score, no down payment. They're going to tighten up, though. You can believe that. They'll say no credit score. They want a great credit history, and they have ways of tightening up stuff, you know. I'm experiencing that now on the deal with Detroit Home Mortgage. They go 150% of the fair market value. The only question is they'll just lower what the fair market value is. So the 150% gets you to where they want you to be anyway. I had a deal I was doing for a student, came back at 115. I thought it should get more. So we pulled it off the market, put in 17 grand, fixed it up, put it back on looking for 150. My man came back at 97.5. It's bullshit. So we amended it. 150% was 146 or something. So we made it 144. So I guess they didn't want me to run away and get a gigantic mortgage. But in any event, let me get back on track here. Assessing yourself. That is, you find that all in chapter 1, and what's associated with chapter 1 in the book. Complete the self-assessment worksheet and complete the goal-setting worksheet. These two things that you got a chance to get a little running start on. I want to tell you about this, you know, so what skills do you really have? And what you don't have, you can get. Why are you considering getting involved in real estate investments? You understand? I mean, somewhere along improving the community, pride of ownership is important. It's just not for cash flow, you understand, for flipping. I guess people that flip houses, you know, they'll buy them and they don't fix them up, they flip them. I guess theirs must strictly be for cash flow. But those who may buy them and just even fixing them up, making them beautiful, I mean, that must be a certain pride there. You know, then you go sell it to a wonderful family. I could see that, you understand? Except that I teach how to buy apartment buildings. But I'm not throwing others under the bus that's all they can really teach is flipping a house or flipping. But why do you want to do this for? Is it money? Or do you have a little baby that you love? Your daughter, your granddaughter, your grandson, you take them around with you, your son. You got to build a better future. You understand? Retirement. I mean, what is it that you see yourself doing? You know, I see myself fighting the good fight. Here's what I see myself doing. We're developing block by block. So I'm going to go into the area that is the challenging, but I want to connect it to a good block. Like in Detroit, we got Chicago Boulevard and Boston Boulevard. Look it up. Boston Boulevard is mansions. And then the next street is Glen Court. It immediately drops off. And then it's Calvert. And Calvert is 40% bombed out. Well, we're buying up Calvert. We've already started buying it. We bought 2340 Calvert, then we bought 1921 Calvert, and we got some other. We got some more. I may not give you the address, all of them yet. But think about that psychology. You know, I'm buying up We're buying up Calvert, the whole street, because we can buy them cheap. Because I mean, just think about it. If they bombed out, what are they worth? But if they all come back at once, oh my God, can you imagine? Look at the appreciation. 1921, we're paying $1,500 for it. It was paid $1,000, bought it from the land bank. Closing cost $1,500. Going to put in 65, 70 grand. It got to be worth $250,000. When that whole street come back, they'll all be worth it. But if you're still next door to a bombed out house, one across the street, one next door, it ain't there yet. Because who in the hell want to live next door to a bombed out house right in the middle of two of them? It would scare you. In 1921, Calvert, if you look it up, it's really in the middle of two houses that are bombed out. But we're buying those two. We bought 2340. It was on the corner. The house next door was bombed out. Somebody bought it, fixing it up. Increasing that value. I want you to have a more noble purpose than that, just money. Okay. So imagine what you're going to be doing in all of that. And then what do you bring to the table? Look, you got to bring something to the table. To be in the class, you got to either find the deal, that's time looking, finding the deal, funding the deal. You got cash, you can fund the deal. Or you got a good credit score, you can finance the deal. Or if you got good skills, you're a plumber, electrician, you can put that sweat equity in and fix the deal up. Or if you're a realtor, you can flip the deal. And that's the easy part. Flipping and finding should be good and easy. The question is, who makes the most money? That's a pretty good question. So someone bring me a deal. And they said, Herb, here's your deal. I want your signature and put the cash in. And I put the cash in and sign it. And we split the deal. Who got the better deal? Did I do it by investing, putting the money up and signing for the mortgage? Did I get the better deal? Or did the guy who found the deal and structured, did they get the better deal? Well, he had to go out and find the deal and do the work and all of that. He brought it to me. Look what I have to do. Sign it. You got a deal. So I think it's a fair proposition to say we both got a hell of a deal. So that brings up the question that if you don't have any money, can you make a deal? Can you get rich? And I suggest yes, you can get richer than everybody else. Because the person that got the money, what is money without a deal? You can have a stack of cash, but no deal. So put your money in the bank and earn your little money. But how about if you found the deals, structured the deals? Now that's something. Now, I'm not throwing the deal of money under, because money, you don't have to do it. Somebody bringing you a deal, you have faith in it and confidence, you join venture. Hey, that's pretty cool. You understand? So you may be the sole person putting the money in. The person that find the deal and the person put the money in the deal could be two different persons. Or it could be the same person. But normally they could be different people. So now, if you got great credit, that's okay. A great credit score, you can get 50 to 250 in a loan right now on your credit score. That's it. Nothing else. Just a great credit score. That's good news. But if you have no money or no credit score, but you got a car and got some gas, you can make it. I used to say this, there are C's: credit, collateral, cash. These are the 3 C's traditionally. And I say there are 3 more C's, or even 4. I start with a commitment, because that's an overriding C, the commitment. And then if you have a computer, and then I say a cell phone. Now, cell phone and a computer now then merged, and they're the same thing, a smartphone. So commitment, a smart computer, and a car. With what? Gas. A little gas. You can make it. So you're going to bring those skills to the table. And then what you don't have, you're going to get. If you have a desire, you will learn Excel, period. You got to know Excel, and you're going to learn Excel, and you're going to get it. And just start with, go to YouTube and look at Excel. You don't have your kid show you. So if you got a strong network, 1 to 10, that's good. And look here, if you don't have a strong network, then convert your negatives to sexual energies, convert your negative energies to being productive. When I failed the test twice, it was such a crushing blow. I cried. This is the real estate test. And I had to wait 6 months. I was able to take that and I was able to convert it into energy. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. And I got started at Bowers. I was 19. So I kind of got started a little bit before I got my license. But take a negative circumstances and use it as a result of this, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to make it. When I got put outdoors as a little kid, that's converting this energy. So it's the converting sexual energies to productive energies. And they say all energies are sexual energies. They're creative. That's what moves us and motivate us. You know, and you sit into the channels they're going to do the most good. Convert it and dig in. That's what I'm discussing with you. So if somebody lets you down, say that's okay. Watch this. Use that to be motivated. If the ladies won't, if you're not being treated right, convert it. You understand? When you were little, you know, when I was little, 16, 17. Um, um, Now, take assessment of yourself, your family, your network, business associates. And, you know, you can always develop businesses. So you can always develop investors. You got a great piece of real estate, put it up for sale. Take a picture of it, put it up for sale. You found your building you're going to do, use that building to kind of market. And you'll get you 50 investors that are called in and talk to them. You know, sit down and get to know who they are and meet them and stuff. These could be your future partners. And realtors, my God, aren't you tired of selling to others? Think about this. Think about all the deals that realtors get and they pass them on. Now, if you got to buy the deal, rehab it, you ain't got time. You can make more money on commissions. I got that. For me to take a substantial rehab and put time in it, I'm not interested. I think it's a sucker deal because the amount of time you got to put in. To take 3 months, 4 months. Oh, look what you can do. I do not like substantial rehabs on nothing. I like moderate rehabs because I can buy them, fix them up, buy them, fix them up, buy them, fix them up, buy them, fix them up. You buy something, you got to figure it out. You got to get the finance, you got to get the architect, you got to get the engineers, you got to go on and on. Take a year and a half. I bought 13 properties in 13 months. You could get one deal and it take you 13 months to do the one deal. Go figure. Now, if you got to enjoy this, you got to love this. I mean, I would do it free. For your all friendship, relationship, teaching y'all, I would do it free. What I really love is when you can do it. Hey, coach, look at this here. So, my man, I got a lot of great students. Mark Johnson called me up. Mark he's a well-known real estate guy right here in the city, well-known in Detroit. And hey, coach, I love it. You got a few minutes? Yeah, man, sure. What's going on, man? How's the baby? And blah, 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 a little small talk. Here's the deal, coach. Blah, 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 blah. I swear, what do you think about this? I said, Mark, here. It was a transaction involving an office, and I wasn't feeling, I thought he was paying too much. And I said, the world just changed. Read between the lines, Mark. Just read between the lines. You all too. The stuff that make the deals is not apparent. When you're trying to make a deal, put on the lender's hat. How does the lender look? And be careful. How's the lender going to react to you making a 10% fee on something gigantic? If they find out about it, the deal may be grass. You may need that fee as the down payment on a transaction. How about if they found out that the whole damn fee is coming from your commission? They say, oh, you're not putting no money in it. So it's good if you're an agent, have a partner, you understand, have a beard, I say, or to put together a deal and let others carry your water. You could create an LLC, let somebody else carry it, because how about if you're the broker and the buyer? Don't you think the lender's going to ask for your commission agreement? Don't you think it's fair ground for them to say, okay, give me full disclosure, what's going on? You don't want that question. You'll have a bad day because you're going to blow your deal. At least you have to come up with some real money now, not the bullshit. So you stay as a broker. Disclosures as a broker. As a matter of fact, sometimes if you're getting a gigantic fee, like something ridiculous, let's say that you got a $10 million deal and your fee is $1.5 million. Now that's a lot of money. But let's say the seller said, I don't care. I want $8.5 million. I don't care how you do the deal. I said, okay, we'll make it $10 million. Because you're going to need your money, you're going to need to do this, or you're getting $2 million, something ridiculous. You may be using it to put back in the show and all of this kind of stuff. So I may be so concerned about somebody knowing what the fee is. I may come to you and I'll say, Darren, are you got your license, you're a broker? I said, I tell you what I want you to do. You may not know anything about the transaction. I said, I want you to carry the water for me. I said, I got a deal I'm doing, and I'd like you to co-broker this deal with me, and I tell you, I'm going to give you 10 grand just to do it. You say 10 grand? Sure. So it doesn't matter. Now, because you don't even know anything about it. If I call up anybody, say, I give you 10 grand to carry this year, and the question is, what does you have to do? Can you get sued? Is there responsibility? I mean, you know, you don't want the risk to be greater than the pay, but there's would be relatively little risk involved. So you have a situation where um, I might say Solomon Realty and Strather Associates. Ah, now if you're a lender looking at that, what do you see? That this Solomon Realty, whoever they are, they got it listed, and I'm going to do it, and Strather is doing a joint venture with them. And then there's another buyer. The LLC is the buyer. Hell, I might own 90% of the LLC at the end of the day. And I don't have to own it as membership interest either. I can own it as a participating promissory note, but let's don't go there yet. You see, I'm ready to go. I'm always making deals. Okay, so what do you think about yourself? I hope you don't score yourself on the low side of things. If you need a good relationship with credit union or a bank, credit unions are easy. And you know, you could easily do that. Just bring them business and help, and we'll show you how to do a BYOB where you put the money in the bank and borrow it back out. You know, you get a loan. We'll loan you the money, put it in, borrow it back out, give us our money. We'll talk about all that. Or you take your paycheck, put it in the credit union, and get a credit card. Even if it's a secured credit card. If you got the worst credit, you can still do that. As long as you don't have an IRS lien, they get leery about that on those. But sometimes they do with that too. And Indigo, they don't care what you got. They just want you to pay them, like they give you a $300 credit card and you pay them $100 or something, you know. Is your credit card like it? What is the reason for it? Oftentimes, so I don't pay much attention to my credit score really, but I did the other day. I was looking, I said, I went to see what the hell it is because I have very little balances on my credit cards. And there was one that was at capacity. I said, what in the shit is this? So I called up, Cap, what is this? What is this here? And then lo and behold, it's my daughter's. And then she pays the grid, pays the grid. They said, you paid it as a grid. I said, well, what is it though? He said, well, this was taken out in 208 or 202 or some shit. I said, what? I said, get that. They said, well, we could take it off if you want it off. Now we could take this. I said, well, absolutely. Take my name off. I got to call her up and tell her about that too. Still ain't told her. But can you imagine all these years I've never even paid no attention to it? Don't be like me. You're smarter than that. Pay attention. Now, one other thing you have to understand. In my side of the deal is banks do not deal with retail credit reports on commercial loans. You're not gonna borrow $1 million and show up on your Experian. It's not gonna show up on the three credit bureaus. They have a retail credit, and that's completely different. And they don't, because every now and then it'll show up, like this last loan we did last month on the Shiawassee, the young lady said, Herb, this came up on my credit report. It will kill your credit report. It'll be a $500 credit report. Why? You're sitting with a $400,000 loan out. Well, hell, you got that much debt? Oh my God, it just, I remember I used to walk her off a 500 credit score because I had $1.2 million mortgage. One bank, Franklin Bank, reported on the regular credit. Well, that was ridiculous. But nobody ever said it to me. None of the lenders ever said it to me. And I had a $5 million unsecured credit line. Nobody even ever said it to me. I'm roaming around. Nobody ever said it. But my lawyer who worked in the office had heard. Then I guess a lender did look at it. They said, did you know you have 5? I said, really? I didn't know that. But check out your credit score. Get everything ready. Look and see what you got. So, oops, what did I just do? Oh my God, Billy. I hope I didn't do nothing crazy. Oh, there we go. So, how much time do you have? You have good transportation, you got a computer, Have you ever done real estate before? Ever done investment property? I want you to do a really, really, really honest view. And are you ready to make a commitment? If you don't want to make the commitment, don't. Don't just do it to do it. Wait till you're ready to make a commitment. Now is a great time. Why would you spend your hard-earned money and not make a commitment? You got an experience with me. You're going to get rich with me. So this is an experience you're fixed to have. And I can go just as fast as you could go. But you got a part of this transaction too. You each live in a neighborhood. If it's in Seattle, if it's in Baltimore, if it's in Atlanta, if it's in Bakersfield, and Miss Bakerfield, Denise had done 3 deals already. And she just came in. She came in, Denise came in 4 or 5 months ago. She's closed 3 deals, and she just got approved on another deal she's buying, 100% herself. And she bought another deal, you know, that was worth, she bought it for $20,000. It was a house, and it's worth $70,000. She's going to use it to buy her apartment building, but she moves. So anyway, let's go back and see now, setting goals. Now, here, you got short range, you got extended goals, and you got dreams. And I love for you to even start with your dreams, then work it backwards. But here's what I like you to do too. You know, is when you list your goals, you know, you can talk about your investment, but put them in writing. If it's not in writing, it means nothing. And don't worry about it if it gets up to 10 million and all of that. Mine got up there. I remember looking at it. I said, gee, you know, look at this. You know, I remember writing this. I remember going through and said, look, but you put it in writing. One of my friends went to the Wailing Wall in Israel. And they said, Herb, I prayed for you, and I want to let you know your goals are right there. I said, thank you so much. You know, what are your goals? Do they conflict with each other? Do they help each other out? Please, please, please have noble goals. And don't live your life chasing money. Just money. And I guess I can say that because I don't really care about money hardly much at all. I care about my God kids. I care about having enough money to spoil the shit out of them, whatever they want. If they want a car, one of them called me and says they like a bike. Now their mom is very cautious about them calling me and stuff like this, but they may sneak around if they don't have it, and you know, if their parents do not have it. And I'm in love with them, like I love all of my kids. I would help them, and or I go to their parents and beat their parents up and say, you better get her a bike, and so you better get her a car, and they're gonna do it anyway. But I'm, you know, godfathers, you know, we kind of like grandparents too. We spoil them, we're gentle to them, and we love them. Send them back home to their parents. But so, what are your goals in life? I hope it's to achieve the good life. Now let me tell you. Here's how I figure. Take out your thing. So I was figuring, I forgot, is it a billion or something like that, how many seconds we got? But we only got so many minutes. Let's say so many minutes. Can somebody help me figure this out? So there is 60 minutes an hour times 24 hours. So there's 144 minutes a day, 1,440 times 365. Wait a minute. 1440 times 365. So there's 500,000 a year. I get 500,000 members a year. So if I got, so that's like saying that I get 50 million minutes if I live to be 100. Does that make sense? If I was 100, no, that's 52 million. Okay. Well, that's still not a lot, I guess, but 52 million minutes. But you know what? That's enough. If you do it right, that's enough. 50 million minutes. And maybe 35 million if you're 7, somewhere around 40 million if you're 80, somewhere around 80, you know. I think if I get to be 101, that's good enough. I don't want to be too old. That'd be good enough. I'd be taking up space somebody else could have. Lord, if you get me to 101, I want to fight the good fight. I want to have babies all the way up through. Okay. So in any event, What do you want to do? Here's what I like you to do. I want you, this is what I did. When I got ready to do my goals, I drove way out. It was a place called Kensington Beach, and I was all by myself. And I took 2 or 3 hours, and I sit there. I took a deep breath. What do I want to do? And I let the seat back, let the windows down that was on the water. You have to make an appointment with yourself to set your goals. Reset. This is very important now because the virus is on us, everybody's panicking. Take a deep breath and reset. Set your goals for the rest of your life. Make them noble. Do something great. You only got one life to live. If you do it only for money, you're going to be sad at the end of the day. Because when you got that last breath, you're going to be thinking about if you'd done something a little bit different. I think I want to write my own obituary. I want to be alive long enough to do it. I'm going to have a little book. It's going to give everybody a book about the good life. I'm just going to call it the good life. You know what? It's going to be about the things that I've done, 150 clubs I built, the 55 godchildren I have, the 3,300 scholarships I've given away. You understand? I gave so much money away, I went broke. You need it back. That's okay. You give it all. You understand what I mean? Now, God is blessing me. I was 20 million under. Can you imagine going from 70 million to minus 20? But 15 million we bought back for not even $1 million. Our partners would just put it together, bought it back. The banks took such a hit. And, the last 5 million was a little bit more difficult to come out, but I'm out, you understand? But look at the skills, and you come out unscathed, and you say, like Jesus, he woke up. He got up 3 days later, and that makes all the difference in the world. That's why we celebrate Easter, and that's why we celebrate the good life, because we get the chance to reset. And however you want to say it, being crucified and getting back up, declaring all power, or having a corona thing that is going to change the world. And believe me, it's going to change the world. The greatest skills now is not how much money you have. Because you ain't going anywhere, you're going to stay home anyway. What the hell are you going to do? Let me tell you something. Perhaps the greatest skills now are skills that your niece have, or your daughter have, or your son have, or those that are 15 and 16. And you know what those are, don't you? Right. Internet skills, social media skills. That you got a chance to reset, retool, and everybody have one page on the internet, Strather Academy. We got one. And we can compete with everybody else. And I got a chance to take my magic, my brand, that I don't believe anybody in the world has ever done. I don't think anybody ever done a couple $1 billion or $1 billion in deals, 200 deals without putting up money. I don't think so. I've never heard of such a thing. You understand? And so I know more ways to do it, I think, than anybody in history. Now, I could be wrong, but if there's somebody I like to hear about it, I think Donald Trump know how to do that pretty well. And he probably is my biggest competitor, and he wins in that. I was noticing something on one of his, they did some research on a deed that was signed, and this is the funniest shit. Excuse the language. It said on the deed, on the LLC, it said authorized signatory. I almost fainted. That's exactly what I use. I never say manager. I never say member. That identifies. I just say authorized signatory. That could be anybody. I can say, Rafferty, you sign. I can say, Denise, you sign. I'm authorizing you. Hell, that don't mean you own it. You're the authorized signatory. So look at these goals that you have. Pick out your most important investment goal, your heart's strongest desire. Write it below. How far are you away from it? And why do you want it? What is your reason? Do you have any conflicts inside, that you think, you doubt yourself? Can you dismantle these obstacles, put them aside, giving it permission to get the shit out your life? You understand? And if you could clear this psychological block, then what happens? You understand? Love everybody. Do not spend your time getting people back. Do not spend 1 moment of your 50 million minutes. Suppose you spend 5 million minutes thinking about kicking somebody else's ass that did something to you. 5 million of your precious minutes. Don't do it. You know, let the big fella take it. Let the big fella do it. And then if you get super rich and it ain't gonna cost you too much money, get your lawyer, let them work on it. But don't you psychologically work on it. You don't want it in your brain. You especially don't want it if you engage in trying to accomplish and do what you want to. Of course you don't want it. Now, we got about 10 more minutes here. And you're going to set your objectives. You're going to write it down. We got 60,000 thoughts a day going through our brains. 60,000 thoughts a day. If you don't write it down, it's not possible to go. Yeah, you're just all over your head. You got all kind of shit. I'm going to tell you why. Let's say you're going down this street. Now, you want to think about this street. Like when I get ready to put a deal, I'm going to work on it tonight. But I'm on this street. I got to turn the corner. My brain don't click till I turn the corner. When you get ready to do something, don't do it before you do it. Wait till you get ready to do it and then do it. Sit down. You'll do your goals, sit down. You can't do your goals driving around in your car. My goal, what is my goal? You know what my goal is? My goal is to sit down and do my goals. Everybody take a deep breath. What do you imagine? I want you to enjoy this goal session. You haven't done it in a long time. And if you have done it, it's time to do it again. I want you to enjoy this. You owe it to yourself. This is your time. You owe this to yourself to sit down out of those 50 million minutes and take about 120 of them and figure out what you're going to do the rest of your life. I want you, and more important, I'll tell you, your dreams. I said almost start with this one. Just what do you dream? What do you want to, how about your dreams? Wouldn't it be something? Go through life, and not get your dreams, not go for it. Go for it and fail. It's better to go for it and give it everything you got and fall on your ass than not to even try it. You chicken? Go for it. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die anyway. Listen, let me tell you something. We're not gonna get out of this deal alive, class. We're not getting out of this deal alive. We're gonna either die for something or we're gonna die for nothing. So that's all my preaching I'm doing today. And I'm just happy everybody took the time to listen to a guy like me. You know what I mean? Most people wouldn't do it. So there may be some questions that y'all have. I would love to have a few questions from you. Not all at once now.
I have a question, Herb, Darren.
Okay.
Okay, a couple questions. All right, this goal worksheet. Which book is that? That's in?
It's the second book, and it looks like gold. This is how it looks. It's called the workbook. You got 6 books.
Okay.
And if you got it hardcover, you really want it digital because you could fill it out better, and but print it out because once you send it to me, I think it disappears or something.
Okay.
But I want you to print it out, or just print it out and write it out.
Okay.
Then you can scan it to me. Some people convert it to Word. Billy, I'm not exactly sure how we do this, if you want to know the truth, because I haven't used it, but you can't type on this, can you know? So this is a PDF. So I would think that you could probably save it, and it may come back up. Some of these PDFs you could save. But for some reason, students have been able to send it to me, but when they send it, they lose it. I'm trying to figure out why. But I want you to have a copy, and I want to have a copy. And what happens is very simple. And you could take per sheet and just click it and get 10 sheets, whatever, but you have a chance to sit down and talk to me about it, but I want you to know it. Then ask me, how can I help you get there? No matter what you tell me, I've been through it. Now, I haven't had any great sickness in my life, no. I had, been relatively strong. Financially, I've been through it. I've never filed bankruptcy, and I don't have to file bankruptcy. Most people with 20 million under, they'll file bankruptcy. Only reason I got 20 million under is I refused to default. I refused to default. That was a stupid thing, you might say, but I could have just negotiated with the lenders and just maybe stop paying them, but it's bulletproof. You're bulletproof. I became bulletproof all of a sudden when I was 20 million under. Think about it. People sue you, they couldn't get nothing, so they wouldn't sue you. Even if you scandalized them, they wouldn't bother you because you're bulletproof. So this is the book. What's the second question?
The second question was actually, how did you actually go from the 70 million up to 20 million down? Like what, you mentioned giving away the 3,500 scholarships. Was that it, or was it?
No, it wasn't it. This was during 208 to 210. It was about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we had about $60 million in construction projects, and we were doing a big casino project in Massachusetts. So we ended up putting about $25 million in that casino. There was a ATIG. It was a online casino that we invested in. We lost $25 million in that. On the Super Bowl in Detroit in 2006, the stock was worth 27 cents. I had 100 million shares. Well, the stock went down to a penny, and then it was a fraction of a penny. So so we lost money on that. That was liquidity right there. But mostly all of the deals that we were building out and doing in the credit lines, those deals stopped. Woodbridge Estates, $100 million. We were so far in the hole on Woodbridge Estates, you wouldn't believe it. So we decided to do an auction. Now look, the government is going to give you $75,000 free as a down payment. So that would help, so we could build a house, sell it. With the $75,000 and the market value, we still lost money. Can you believe it? That's just how low it was. Those homes that we built for $300,000, they was not even selling for $100,000. So, and my debt service was running, a couple $100,000 negative a month. My debt service and carry-in for the casinos. So I was kind of like going too fast with too many employees. I had 200 people. Hell, my entire life, I only had one secretary and a partner. She handled the administration, but I never had employees, just one. And I made $1 million a year at least. Every year I made $1 million. Some years 2 or 3 million, 4 or 5 million. But so I got engaged after the casino, got a lot of employees, and that made a huge difference. So what I did, I went on the radio though, and I told everybody, look, I'm 20 million under. Everybody, no. You're the second richest guy in Detroit now. There's a guy named Don Barton was the richest. I was the second because it was all in the paper how much money I had. So, because when we got paid out, it was a public event. It was a stack of money. So it was well known. Now, but I said to everybody, I've been to this movie before, so watch me. Because in 1980, the same thing happened. I had 25 million in real estate. All of this real estate I had accumulated before I was 30 years old. I was in my 20s. And all of a sudden, interest rates went up to 20%. I pushed it aside and I started doing deals. And I did the biggest deals of my life, and the most creative deals. And I survived. And, God gave me that ability to put this stuff together because that's the way my brain thinks. It thinks like, how can I do this deal without money? Alternative thinking, you understand? And it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You know what? When we were in school, we had algebra and we had equations. And I'm like, man, what the shit is this? Like A to the 5th power equal L. I say, I ain't gonna do no shit like that. I can't. You think, I mean, what is this? And that's exactly what we do. It's algebra. Here's the set of circumstances, and here's the set of possibilities. Let's put this together. The seller wants this, he doesn't care. This is the lender, they want this. The state will allow this much fees. I have partners that do this. There are additional financing on this. You put all of the circumstances together, and it's like a little puzzle. And you put that together, and there's another puzzle. And not one of them have the same pieces. Have you ever seen a puzzle with the same pieces? Of course not. You know, they each have different pieces, and you put them all together. Ah, that's a beautiful puzzle. Give me the next one. And I love putting these puzzles together. So the bottom line is that it's been a great run. It's been great experience. It's all for the right purpose in life. So I can teach you all. Now, don't get me wrong. My offspring, nice big fat trust. Everybody's in good shape. My ex-wife lives in a fabulous place on the hill out in San Diego. I guess she paid $4 million. She sends a picture out to everybody. But I love her and her new husband. I mean, honestly, I don't have any hate in my heart at all. And I love everybody. That's fine. I'm glad she lived good. And of course, I'm glad about my children, my godkids and all, and my grandkids and all of that. And I'm not doing so bad. You know what I mean? Because I've had everything I've ever wanted. And right now, my focus is not on getting $100 million again. That's not my focus. My focus now is my legacy. And that legacy, the only way that I continue to live, only way my legacy march on is if I take it out of my head and put it in your head. And you march on. March down the street doing deals. Then I was like, look at this shit. Look at this. I got 50, 100 people out there doing deals. And so I like to introduce it, and it's not in a book anywhere. It's not like it's written. Like it's, let me get this book, let me go read this book about to do these deals. No, it's not written, right? It's not in writing. Hey, Billy, will you please remind me that I want to upgrade our books right now? I'm going to do a supplement on the 10 ways to create equity. At least I'll add that to our books, because there's been a lot of water that has rained a lot, and there's a lot of new ways and new creative things to do, and I want to add that so that if something should happen and I'm not around, it's at least in writing. Now, there's a lot of videos. This is going to be video. One day you're all going to look at this. I may not be here, but I want to make sure that these methodologies are not so complicated that they're understood. And the only way you're going to do this is to do it. You got to get in and do it. And then, like I said, I'm a philanthropist, you know, and I've given away most of my money. And I think if you'd given me $1 billion, I would have given it away. So anyway, don't worry about that. I was going to give my money away anyway. Now, so now is the time where I'm getting it back. I mean, I'm not broke. Let's put it like that. But I don't have $100 million like I had. But that's okay. I have a very good life. I'm healthy. I'm still making babies. I got a 6-year-old. So anyway, that's my story. And like I said, I am super happy. I'm really, really happy working with you all, helping you all to do the things that you need to do. Because I got a lot of people that trust in me and believe in me, and we got to make sure that happens.
Well,
so are there any other questions? Go ahead.
You have something in common with Trump, you know, because I think the first big deal that he lost on was that Taj Mahal casino in New Jersey.
Yeah.
He put too much money into it, they say.
Well, yeah, but Trump started off with more money. See, Trump's model was not creative, except it is now. And it's super creative because Trump had a $500 million negative net worth, right? But actually, his brand, his name was worth $1 billion.
Right, yeah.
So therefore, his brand was worth $1 billion. My knowledge is worth millions. because I possess this knowledge that I got to give someone. But if someone said this is Strather building, no, it's not. I mean, Trump is a hell of a name. That's his real name was Drump, D-R-U-M-P, and his daddy changed his name to Trump. Isn't that something? Because Drump would be one hell of a ugly ass name. That's the true story. That's not his real last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's not their family's name. He came over here and said, hell, I don't want no name like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it Trump. He named himself. So it's a great market. You got to respect the guy. He is a super marketer. You know, I don't like his policies and politics. Let's like this, but his marketing ability is off the hook. He's probably the best marketing person in the entire world. So, you know, as I assess myself, I enjoy, what do I want to do now? You want to know what my goal is? Is to spread optimism in the world. And I really, really, really need to do that. Now I need to get some of these deals off my plate. I got about 30 deals and I just got to move them. So the greatest news is by me being home, just able to work these deals, I can move these deals. I can just move them. And I'm moving them now. And then I can get them clean so I can go and do my optimist activities. I want to spread optimism in the world. And the world needs me now. And I don't want to take all day. In the next 30 days, I want this down to no more than 15 deals. And then in 60 days, I want it manageable, 5 deals. And then I'm really into my optimism. That's what I want to do right now. Optimist saved my life. It's a debt I can never repay. And now I'm going to save optimists. I plan to save optimists. That's what I plan to do. That's my goal in life. Oops, some of my deals. So, any more questions, y'all?
How's Robin doing?
Robin is just doing wonderful. She is just, you know, I went out and knocked on her door. She didn't open that door, but I hit the bam, bam. Mm-hmm. She said, hello. Man, that was the best hello I ever heard. Mm. I said, honey, I don't know what to do. I mean, this happened to another student the other day. We called 2 or 3 times. They didn't say nothing. I went out, banged on their door, hollered their name out. They came out, well, I'm glad that somebody think like this of me. I said, I don't know whether to hit you or to hug you. I said, I'm not going to hug you because, you know, because I can't get that close to you, but please, you know, this is not funny. You know, I'm losing my friends. So, you know, I care about everybody. I want y'all to please do not be roaming around. You got people out here roaming around, don't have any protection on, you know, nothing over their face. It's so sad that people don't care about their life. You know, I mean, we can't help but to wipe our nose, face. We touch our hands, face 60 times a day, 60 times a day, whether we realize it or not. Cleaning down our mouth, see that? I think you can take it to your eyes or your nose. But you know, I mean, times I wash my hands a day, man, I didn't wash the shit out of my hands. I washed my hands so much, I got it down to my 8th grade answers I used to write with my hands. I see those now. Okay, little joking, y'all. And make sure y'all deal with a little humor, please. Any other questions that we have from anyone? Well, I think we're about exactly 1 hour, and I really, really appreciate it. I want you to do your goals, do your assessment. I want you to think about being an optimist. I want you to download the Creed. You go to Strather Academy, download the Creed. If you want to join the Optimist Club, let me know. So Herb, I want to join the club. It's $100 a year. And you're going to commit to donate $1,000 in your life to some project. And that's fine. Because you want to be a philanthropist. You want to write checks. Believe me, you want to write checks. You rather give than to receive. And then I want you to go out and find a building that you love. And just say, you know, Herb, this is what I would love. You understand? And but try not to make it $100 million and all of that. Keep it, you know, a little modest for a minute, if you don't mind. You know, something that's between 20 and 100 units. How's this? Something between 4 and 200 units. Is that fair enough?
Absolutely.
Between 4 and 2, whatever you feel comfortable. And then I could help you do that. I could help you structure that. And don't worry about the money. We'll structure the money because the only thing we have to do is show our bank statements long as you got $4 or $5 million in the bank, you're okay. Believe me. But you can never ever spend the money, because if you spend the money, then you don't have it no more. It's as simple as that. So you can put it in temporarily, yes, and take it out. Or if you bought something with a gigantic cash flow, it's okay. I mean, if I bought something that had a 20% cash flow, I wouldn't give a shit what it is. Think about it. You understand? 20% cash flow? Oh, that's cool. I don't care. You know what I mean? Or if it's highly leveraged, 5 to 10% the absolute most. And 5% sounds better than 10%. Then, of course, I would leave money in the 5% of deficit, because the depreciation is 8% a year. Just my depreciation would be really cool. So, but I don't buy for depreciation. I got to have cash flow and everything else. And no, I would not buy a deal just for the appreciation. The depreciation, rather. You understand? I want real cash flow, and so do you. I don't want you to just do these depreciation deals, because the depreciation is not as valuable as it used to be, because the income tax, for all practical purposes, the income tax rate is 27%, for all practical purposes, really. Because income derived from through an LLC is taxed, and anybody in their right mind is going to create an LLC and run it all through their LLC. And if you haven't done that, and I should have mentioned that, you should establish your LLC. See if it exists, and establish your LLC, and I want you to do that this coming week. So with that, we'll always end our session in a little prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for the blessings in life. We thank you for this session that we have. We ask that we internalize this, and we go out and we do it. And may everything that we do be pleasing to you, and indeed order our steps in the world so that may happen. Amen. Okay, everybody, I'm going to see you Saturday, and I love everybody. And if you have any questions, you got my phone number. You got my personal number. Everybody does. Just give me a call. Talk to you later.